Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
But goddamn, yeah, I'm gonna exhale here.
Yeah, take that second. Take that second.
How are you doing, Rahmaan? Let's go.
Man, I'm fantastic. Honestly, this is probably one of the best places I've been in a long time, you know, mentally.
Yeah,
and
life-wise?
Life-wise. So, yeah.
That's good, dude.
Heck yeah.
Why so?
Man,
let us know.
Just so much has happened in this past, like, through COVID and everything. I had a lot of, like, reflective, like, self-talk and, like, a lot of, like, self-analytics of myself that just, like, has finally been manifesting and like making sense now. And even because I've been meditating for like a year and a half now.
Really?
And literally in the past 5, I would say like 3 months, let's be real, let's keep it 100. I've actually been effectively meditating to the point, like, and for everybody, for me, like, I feel like it's very important to like be right within yourself and knowing what you need to work on. So for me, there's like different types of meditation, but for me, I'm like meditating for the reason of like focusing my thoughts. And like, I know it's baby steps, but like my mind's like a madman. So it's just like being able to focus those thoughts and like hone in on them instead of just having them run rampant. So it's just like, that's like my first thing. And that's what's been helping me a lot with like compartmentalizing and like actually focusing on task at hand and being able to finish things and like not forgetting 10,000 things, because you know, as like people in the industry, we have 20 to 30,000 things at one time. Yes, exaggeration, but still, it seems like it at times. And then
it
like,
could be 20.
Yeah, 20, 100%. And so it's just like, you need to sometimes understand your mind to the point where it's like, okay, I know it's crazy right now, but like, what makes the most sense for me right now? So yeah, it's been awesome. And then like, now that I've gotten to that point where I'm able to take those moments and think about it and just sit within myself and be like, okay, this can be a little overwhelming, but we're going to be okay. We have the wherewithal and like the mindset to like refocus and recalibrate our mind to like find the best plan of action. And that's really been big for me. And like, ever since then, I feel like things have been going on. I have a lot of projects happening. I got a lot of things going on, and it's really fun. Like, and that's why it's just like a great time, you know?
That's
just
awesome, dude.
Heck yeah.
I'm glad to hear it. So did you feel before you were kind of getting just flustered and basically mentally unorganized?
Yeah, I was very mentally unorganized, and like, I just got lost in the sauce, as we say, and like, especially in LA, because like, I was working a whole bunch, working in the clubs, and you know, that, oh man, for people who don't know, LA life is real. It's so real. And
we'll get into that, because I don't, honestly. I haven't been out much here. It's just been too busy since I got here, but
yeah,
we'll get into that.
Yeah, so like, yeah, just the craziness of that, and like, coming from that and like making this initial move after 2 years and like recalibrating everything. And now like, I'm like, okay, I actually can focus now. Like, I actually am not in an environment that's like not conducive for my creative like thoughts and output. And so it's not stifling anymore. It's actually a thing where we can be like, okay, like, I'm actually doing things like efficiently, and I actually have a space mentally and physically where I live now that I can actually create, and it's pretty cool. So yeah,
I totally can resonate with that. In the way I kind of think of it is, because when did you came out not long before I did?
Yeah,
did you stay after that trip?
No, I took 4 months to get out here, so I actually moved. So 3 years for me will be October 15th of this year.
Of this year.
Yeah.
Okay, so you were probably in the ballpark of like 6 months before I got here.
Yeah.
Something like that. But I've just noticed lately, I don't even know how to put it. Not that I was overwhelmed, but everywhere you go, because it's so big out here. There's so many different places. And now I've lived in the Valley. I lived in Woodland Hills, and I lived in Encino. I worked in the Valley. Had done some projects in like, say, Burbank area. Now I've lived downtown, about to move to like the West Hollywood area, working over there now, a little bit in Santa Monica. Like, I've kind of gotten to know a little bit of all areas, so it doesn't feel like I'm brand new to every place I go. 100%. And that's like I feel like that is important, or what's the best way to put it? That is like, that matters in your like comfortability and able to do and have success in anything we're trying to do, because everything like every day is brand new.
Yeah.
And then I didn't really notice that until I stopped feeling that way. Like, oh, the last year and a half, like, you don't know where you're going ever. You don't know what it's going to look like. You don't know what you're looking for. And you don't know what it's going to be like, whatever it is when you get there. So it's just like constantly trying to figure it out. And then once you have been here a little bit and you kind of know the area a little bit, you kind of figure it out LA a little bit, you feel like you can kind of actually just relax and do what you're trying to do.
Like, you know what studio you're going to, or you know what, like, where you're at. Well, obviously now COVID, but like, you know, like certain auditioning places you're going to, you're like, oh, that's there, that's off of Figueroa, that's off of this.
Yeah,
like,
you know what room it is.
Yeah,
you know what door to go to.
You're like, oh, I know that's in Wilshire, I know that studio this and that suite this, because like before you're just like,
traffic, how long? I don't want to be late.
You're like, oh god, I'm here, but it's another 15 minutes to figure out where the hell everything is, and you're just like, oh my god,
is that the exit? I missed the exit. Where do I go?
Yeah,
GPS isn't uploading. Then it misses the next exit because it takes so long to upload. You're like, god damn it.
Yeah, because it's like 800 feet to the next exit, and you're just like, bro, it's 17 lanes of traffic. How am I gonna do this?
One. You're 4 lanes over. Yeah, dude. So I just feel like
in front of Capitol Records.
I feel like that for me, which it sounds like what you're saying has been a big noticeable thing recently. Of just okay. I kind of got just living here figured out. Not even figured out. Like, I still feel like I haven't been here that long, but way more than the first even year I was here. So like that kind of just like peels back maybe a layer of like stress or just uncertainty, whatever the kind of that emotion is in like day-to-day life. That's almost like it's unconscious. Yeah. But it's noticeable once you don't feel that way anymore.
Yeah. Because I've noticed that my friends who have come out here and visited, like one of my homies just came out here and visited from Texas, and he was like, dude, I don't understand this. He's just like, bro, I don't have anxiety, and just being here for 15 minutes in traffic, he's like, I am going clinically insane. He's like, how do you deal with this? And like, you know, like for us, like we're so used to like crazy stuff. And I think that's a different level once you start noticing it, like the craziness, you're just like, it's normacy to you. Like, it's fine if there's a naked homeless man, like, yelling at you with, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're like, okay.
With air guns, as you were doing.
Just like, nah, because, like, like, the other day, me and my homie were helping my friend move, and in Hollywood. Right by Hollywood Boulevard. And we're walking.
There's some homeless over there.
Oh, a decent amount. So we, like, walking over by the Dolby Theater, and we go get some food, and I'm like coming back and eating my fries, and you know that big intersection, I forgot like the main street, but it's like where Ripley's, believe it or not, and like the Foot Locker.
Is it like Highland?
Yeah, I think it's Highland. It's like it's like the biggest one of the bigger intersections. And you know, for people in LA to move, like be alert and move away from something, it has to be something pretty substantial. So like we just see these people disperse, and we're just like, well, it's just a homeless person yelling. Like, what's the problem? It's a Tuesday. Calm down. And you just see him like, he's like, I'm going to kill you. And it's like this homeless dude with a big knife. And I was just like, oh, okay. So me and my friend are just so like, I know I wouldn't recommend this to anybody. Don't do it. Please don't do it. But we're just so used to it. Like we walked by, I kid you not, while I'm eating fries. And he walks right by him. And we look at him. He looks at us like, and just starts talking to this dude on a bike, and we just walk away. Like, it's just like, okay, like,
yeah, we're in Hollywood, dude.
Yeah, and that's literally how we feel. But to people, they would be like, oh my god, this is the worst thing that's happened to me in the last 5 months. And you're like,
or ever.
It's like, bro, or ever. I'm like, dude, I just went to the park, and there was a homeless person like on meth, like in a trash can next to my car. Like it's like, it's just like weird stuff like that. Not saying that's always a thing, but like just it's a sense of normacy, and you know that like that's just what it is, and like you just have to keep pushing past it regardless. So.
Yeah, the homeless is definitely something to get used to, especially like right here being so close to the street. If I just have my windows open, I'm here during the day, which I haven't been lately, but during COVID obviously I was. You just every, I don't know, 30 minutes hear someone yelling, just walking by screaming something, singing, maybe threatening somebody, but there's nobody around. Like
philosophical thoughts.
Just preaching about Jesus. You hear all that. You hear literally everything. My mom and my sister was here probably a month ago now, and so they're not used to that.
Just put it that way.
And we were in West Hollywood at Santa Monica and La Brea.
Yeah.
Which is close to where I've been training at recently. And sometimes I'll go sit there. There's a Starbucks there.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like a Target there. There's like an outdoor just seating area. But it's also a bus stop. So there's also homeless who come there and sit around. And there was this one, I honestly don't know if it was a guy or a girl, just by the appearance. They had a cart, like, you know, all their things in there. But they came up like foaming at the mouth and like spitting. And usually, you know, when they like walk towards you, it's almost, I feel I don't know, obviously a lot of them are mentally ill. So I don't know what it is, but a lot of times it seems like they just kind of want to get your attention.
Yeah.
And then once they know they have it, they'll kind of just go away. But this person like was walking up, so I was expecting them to like walk towards me. And then once we were like sitting there, completely eye contact with them, I thought eventually they would turn. No, he just came up to us, like right here with his cart, and was just, I'm not gonna lie, I got a little spit on me, and I was like, what the fuck? I just got spit on me during COVID? Oh my God, I'm gonna die.
It's like, what's life? What's life?
But it was literally like like a zombie, dude, just spitting and foaming. And I don't know, that was the craziest homeless experience I've had, where he didn't stop. He just was there until we got up, and I kind of told him to leave, or him or her. And yeah, but I was just like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah,
I don't know.
You're like, I don't know. And then like people are like, what's that? I was like, that's LA.
That's LA.
That's LA. Like, you just take the good and the bad and the crazy. Because like, that's what I tell people when they come out here and they'll ask me advice. They're like, what? It's like, what do I expect being out here? I was like, well, expect to grind. And if you're in the entertainment, like at that time, I was like, you're going to be in a service job or something that's conducive for your lifestyle. And on top of that, I was like, LA has the highest highs you can potentially have any month, into like the most debilitating, like mentally breaking lows. So I was like, if you're cool with that roller coaster, come on, join us.
Yeah, go for it.
Join the mental catastrophes that we have. Like, it's great. Like, but you just have to have like a very positive mindset, especially out here, to even just like somewhat make it.
Just to be like probably mentally healthy. Just to be like feeling like okay and not freaking out all the time.
Yeah.
Like shit. And
it's just funny to me how like I actually had some of my friends, like this one girl I work with on this last like TV series, and she was asking me like, what, like, how do you find balance? Because you seem like your life is pretty balanced. And I was like, I'll tell you when I figure that out. Because like that's a thing every single day I work on. Like, it's not gonna be oh yeah, I have everything in life figured out. It's like no, like I'm literally just at a point in my life where like I'm able to be comfortable enough to take that extra second or extra time to be like, okay, let's refigure this whole craziness out, this chaos, and let's turn it into organized chaos, and then make it efficient enough to where the organized chaos can be perceived as normal. Like that's literally. It sounds
like it's working.
Yeah, it's working. You take, hey, fake it till you make it. That's what they say. So it's just like, and like I told her, I was like, it's every person's different. Like, you have to find what works for you, like, because you have your own like preconceived notions and your own like things and presets in you that like you have to take into account for yourself. So it's just like, once you dig within yourself and you pull those out and you make some breakthroughs, it's gonna be like, oh, okay, like I know that sucked before, but like I can work with it now. So it's just one of those, like, man, it's a journey. And that's what people don't really see, that like about like how they see us now and they're just like, oh, they made it, they're doing great, how are they? Like, if y'all saw, not at all. If y'all saw the lows, if y'all saw this, like, y'all would be like, do I really want this? Do I really want this life? It's like, I don't know.
Oh man, I could say two things off of that. Well, one, I think it's good probably that thinking about it right now, the craziness, it's like you're figuring out how to deal with a storm, because as you get more successful, I'm sure in this industry, you know, you're going to probably have more and more opportunities that you want to take, more and more things you need to be at, more and more responsibilities. So like that's preparing you to handle all those things at one time. Yeah. That's what I always think, especially as an actor who's obviously not known. Like if that were to happen to me someday, to be, you know, watched everywhere you go or have any sort of fame, like what would that be like? And just, I don't know. I think that'd be more pressure. Yeah. Like, so you'd really have to have your shit organized. And
Or make it look like you're
Or
organized.
make it look like you're organized. So people don't think you're crazy.
Dude, because I have a few friends that are like in like social media influencers, and I asked them, because I'm like, dude, how do you deal with this? Like, we'll like be at the mall or something, and you have like 6 people walk up to us. Oh my God, I can't believe it's you. I need a picture, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, oh God, that's like, yeah, I know that's going to happen to me eventually, but it's just like, oh man, I'm gonna have to get to that next level mentally, cognitively, to be like, okay,
That's the thing. And it's like, most of the time you'd probably be fine with it, but like the couple days where you're maybe having a bad day, like those days, that's going to happen to you too.
Yeah.
So it's like that, you got to prepare for that, which is just a thing. I don't know, just to think about, I guess.
Yeah. And it's crazy to think about, but it's like excitingly terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's what happens a lot being here. It's like people don't understand that like sometimes being terrified is okay.
Yeah, I think
because it's like the new chapter.
Yep.
And like I recently went through that, like super recently, especially with like the TV series I just did, and I was thankful to have the opportunity. Like, it was terrifying because like it was a big opportunity, but at the same time I was like, oh my gosh, like my life's high key gonna change.
Yep.
Like, the things you've been searching for, the reoccurring role, and like all this stuff that like people spend years trying to get, it's like right here, and you're just like, oh
shit.
Oh, yeah, exactly. That's all you could say. It's like, shit, better not fuck this up. That's literally all you could say.
Bro, let's get into it. How did that all play out? How did you get that from the beginning to where you're at now? Like, was it smooth sailing?
No.
Was it pretty choppy? Was it rough?
It
Audition process? What did it look like?
It's a lot of auditioning, a lot of soul searching, a lot of trial and error. Man, it's been a lot. And I've had a different journey than probably a lot of people, because like we had like the YouTube channel, the craziness, the partying, like, oh, it was insane. Like, it was just insane to the point where like my body was like, why are you doing this to us?
Explain. I don't even know. You guys had a whole YouTube thing?
Yeah.
But I didn't even know.
Yeah, we were like partiers and like all this stuff, and we would get paid to go party and like go to.
Is that the club?
No, this was like on our own accord. It was like some crazy stuff, and like I'm glad. It was amazing. It was a fun experience, like especially for what we were when we first got here. We're just like discovering new places, meeting people, like influencers, all this, and it was great. But at the same time, your body's like, oh my God,
it's training.
I'm slowly deteriorating every single day.
I didn't even know about this.
Yeah, dude. That's why we were like MIA, because we had like our own like whole separate thing that we were doing, and like, because our channel, like, I was kind of back on the back end of it, but I was still there. But like, yeah, it was like this channel.
What was it called?
The Guys of Van Nuys.
The Guys of Van Nuys.
And like like I was on the back end, so like I was kind of doing behind the scenes more so, but man, just being a part of it and seeing it, I was just like, oh my gosh. And like I was just in the back of it, so I'm just like, imagine if I was one of the faces, like, oh my gosh. So it's just like, it was cool for what it was. It was a fun time. Like, it was experience. Like, the experiences were, man.
Is it over?
Yes.
You look so happy.
Yes. As fun as it was, as much of the experiences I love and learned from it, it just it was time. Yeah. So like, yeah, we got like over 3,000 subscribers in less than in about a month and a half.
Nice.
So it was like on the rise. Like, it was crazy. Like, we didn't even
expect that.
We didn't expect it at all. We were just like, we might as well film this. Like,
and were you throwing parties at your place, or were you going to parties?
It was all of the above. It got to a point where we were just throwing stuff like at our place, and we were just having fun. And then it got to a point where we were just like, oh crap, like big YouTubers and stuff would like hit us up and be like, hey, come party. And we're just like, huh? What do you mean? They're just like, yeah, just come party. Like, we want you all to start the party. So like, we would be literally the party starters. And like, mainly my other roommates would like go to those, because I was working all the time. So every chance I got, I could probably go. Yep. But yeah, it was a time, and like, it was a great learning experience, and like, from that standpoint. But now I'm like, look back on it, I'm just like, oh man, I'm glad it's over. I'm so glad it's over because like it taught me a lot. But now I'm at a point where I'm like, I can focus on so much more. And that's why I made the move, honestly, for me. Like, I love those guys. Like, they were like my brothers. But at the same time.
Your housing move?
Yeah. I like told them straight up. I was like, guys, like, we need to do this to like be better.
Yeah.
Because like us in the same area and together was amazingly chaotic. And like, we needed it for us to like actually progress in our careers, and I could tell that, and like
you just got to that point,
and it got to it, and like ever since I moved, it's been amazing, and a lot of auditions, a lot of craziness, and like be prepared to audition. Like if you're lucky as an actor, you audition 90% of the time when you first start. So it's just like, it's a beautiful thing to be able to audition.
It's a beautiful thing to be able to audition. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, and like just taking every one of those opportunities and never take an opportunity for granted. I would tell a lot of people, because especially with like my journey, I had a few moments where I was like, oh, like you just, you would kind of take it for granted because it's just there. It's just like, oh, I'll have another one. But it's like, no, take every moment of, especially in this journey, don't ever take it for granted. And it's going to be a lot. There's going to be a lot going on. Like for me, I've luckily got an agent and it was awesome. And like they've been theatrically, I'm be real. When they first started sending me out, I was terrified, terrified. Like, cause like people will start seeing like you get these NDA like scripts and stuff from these big studios and you're just like, oh, you see a name, you're like, oh, am I ready for this? Yeah. I don't know. Is this the right name? But I know I'm like the only one in America. So like by the census, so like how could they mistake that? Like it is me. Like, so it's like
another one.
Yeah. And so it's just crazy to think about that. Like, and how much, like, it's just a lot of auditioning, a lot of opportunities, classes, and just taking every day and taking every opportunity, and eventually like it will, like I would tell people, just keep going, man, because like with my journey, it's feel like mine's just beginning. And it's been a fun one. It's been a crazy fun one. And I'm glad I'm still here.
That's what I feel with acting is, obviously I'm not an older person who's been doing this forever, but I'll try to listen to things and pick up little things, maybe say, for example, like Actors Roundtable or just some article, or you see something. And I feel like I've picked up numerous times hearing from older, successful actors, career-long actors, just kind of along the lines of, you do a project and usually you don't ever know if you're going to work again after that for your whole life. So just accepting that fact of it, that kind of continuous, even if you do something super successful, you don't know if it's going to happen again. Doesn't matter how big you are.
Nope.
You don't know if it's going to happen again. And being able to, I guess, just accept that and deal with that and realize that the journey, you're probably always going to feel like you're trying to fight forward instead of like making it and just chilling.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm sure some actors can kind of feel that way, like the top of the top of the top. But most people who even, probably make really good money and have really good careers, TV actors or things like that, I'm sure are feeling that way for their whole life, for their whole career, and just getting to the next. And obviously they're good enough to do it, but you just don't know what's going to come up next. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know, but good or bad. It could be something, you could just be successful, but maybe not where you want to be, and just realizing maybe you've been doing that for years or a decade and you're like, okay, and then you just get a massive role, blows you up or something. I'm pretty sure that kind of happened to Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, because he worked with a lot of big names in like theater. Yeah,
because I remember just hearing something, and someone was just referencing him about, because I think he was in his 30s when he got Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, something
which
like
I
that.
think kind of catapulted him, even though he had been acting whatever for the previous decade.
Yeah.
But it wasn't at that level, like of maybe fame, you want to say, or recognition.
Yeah, and now he's like, I think he's technically the highest grossing actor of all time, because of like he's in 3 of the top 5 highest grossing franchises in like TV film history type thing. Like, what?
Yeah, what is he in? He was in Star Wars,
Marvel,
What was he in Marvel?
Marvel, he was
I watched some Marvel. It was like 50.
Well, he was in like the Avengers and all that. Okay. And like oh my gosh, well, you got me putting names on spot and I can see him. He's an agent. Oh my gosh. I cannot think.
We'll figure it out.
People are going to like look at me like, are you crazy?
I'll pop it up right here.
That I appreciate that. And yeah, so now you know.
Maybe I'll do a word or like a speak bubble right around your mouth.
Cause yeah. And then I know I was watching something about John Krasinski.
Yep.
And saying how he was literally about to give up acting right before he booked The Office. Mm-hmm. Like his mom told him like keep going. He was like, how about you push it out for another like couple months? And he was like, I'm ready. I'm ready to be done. Yeah. And then he booked The Office.
Crazy.
And like it's all I'm telling people, like just keep going, because it's just like you never know. And like this is in like it could just be the first of many. It can be the first of one. Like it can just be whatever you make it, and just like know the fact and be satisfied with every moment that you have doing it. Because like I'm gonna be real, like after being on this TV series, which is it's called Recruiters Mission First. It's a season 2 on Vet TV. So it's like
dropping names. Let's go. Look it up. Give that a watch.
Yeah, it's coming out. We're having our first premiere on August 13th. So I'm not sure exactly.
What is it on?
It's on Vet TV, but like we'll see. It's like a smaller streaming service, but for vets. But it's veteran TV. But yeah. It's kind of cool just having the opportunity to have my first like actual 9-episode series. I was like, for season 2.
Was that what you've been doing recently?
Yeah.
Just very recently? Oh, I thought that was a commercial.
Nah.
I was wondering. I was like, damn, that's a long set for a commercial.
Yeah, you're like 17.
I saw you posted about it.
It's like 17 days for a commercial. It's a long time.
It's commercial. I thought you were doing like a military commercial.
Nah, it was
nice, dude.
Yeah, it was a TV series.
I mean, either way, I was happy for you. I was like, I thought, nice, dude, for the commercial, but TV, let's go.
So yeah, that's what I was saying. That was my first recurring role, and like it was just an amazing experience, and like how and like just being on set like for that long and just doing it, and like the people I was around. I was blessed to have an amazing cast and crew, and everybody was incredible. Like so, it just was a good experience for me to just like reaffirm to myself like this is what I'm meant to do, and like. Regardless to whatever happens from this point on, like I know that this is like what I meant, one of the things I'm meant to do on top of a lot of things. But yes,
all those moments, you know, even just being on set. So what were you on? Were you 17 days? You said 20 days?
Well, I was there. We filmed 17, but I was on set 13 or 14 days.
13 or 14.
Yeah,
that's a good chunk of time coming. Obviously, like progressing in your career. Have you been on set on a project that long before?
No, the longest I had been was like. I think 10 days.
10 days.
But I was like a featured background. But like, and I got like 4 lines.
Yeah.
So it's under 5. So, but yeah, this is the first one where I was like actually one of the main characters. Like, and they were like, oh, because I didn't realize like when I went to it how big the role was in the series. So I like went to fitting and I was like, oh, okay, like this is cool. Like I'll get like a couple days maybe. It's like. Few 3-4 days, all of a sudden they're like, oh no, like if you can't be here for 95% of the filming, like we have to recast you. I said, huh? I was like, okay.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, I'm here for this. I'm here for all of this. I like that. So yeah, it was just like a surprise to me, and it was a very nice surprise. So I was like, okay, cool. So from there, just rocking with it.
What were you told it was?
I just like booked it. Like,
was it a self book?
No, my agent, like I read for it and it said supporting. So I was like, I didn't think much of it. Like, you know, like you're just like, you do so many, if you're thankful and like lucky, you're able to do a fuck ton of auditions. And like, sometimes, you know, you'll get caught up in auditions and you're like, oh, which one is that?
All the time,
And you're just like, oh, okay. And then like, I did it like on a Monday. No, I finished it on a Sunday. I got a call from my agent on like a Tuesday when I was at Target or Walmart. No, I was in Walmart just like buying some stuff. And he was like, hey, so I have a booking for you. I was like, okay. And he was just like, yeah, it's for this show, Recruiters Mission First for their season 2. I was like, oh, I just did that. I was like, bro, I just turned that in on like Sunday. Like, well, okay, awesome. And they're like, yeah, you have a fitting on like Thursday. And I was like, okay. And yeah, it just like happened super quick. So everything was super quick. And as soon as it happened, it just happened.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. We didn't even have like a table read or anything. Like
Really?
we were just rocking with it. And I'm excited to see. And like for what we were able to do, it's incredible. I was like, wow. I was like, I didn't realize I had the capability. And like you learn this about yourself. Because we did like so many pages. What was it? Like 96 pages in like 10 days.
Really?
Yeah. Like we were going.
Was it like 2 takes?
Oh,
boom,
like
boom. 1 take.
2 to 4 takes.
2 to
like
4.
it was like a soap. Like it was like 2 to 4 takes, but like it was amazing. Like how on time they were. Like people were just like, even through all the craziness, like it was like, wow, like these people are doing it. And I was just like, okay. And you just got to be ready. And like I'm sitting there like working with, trying to build chemistry with somebody like on set. You'd be like, all right, we're 45 minutes till we're set. Okay. 5 pages of 6 different people with 4 transitions. Awesome. Let's get it going, guys. Let's figure it out. So it's just like being prepared and being ready to like adapt and do it. Yeah. Like at any moment's notice. That's the craziest part of all of it. And it's just like people don't realize how big being like the adaptability and being versatile as a person and being able to adapt to your environment and just be able to do it is like it's huge. Because like you'll be sitting there, because I remember like you'll sit there and I was like, all right, I have like a 2-page monologue and like I have all this other stuff in it while I'm doing the 2-page monologue and like all these other actions. And then all of a sudden, like 10 minutes before we're filming, he's just like, shots up in 10. He's like, oh yeah. Like your script supervisor and director is like, hey, can you switch these 4 lines? And you're like, okay.
I mean, like
what else are you gonna say? You know, like what else are you gonna say? Like,
yeah.
You're like, okay, you just smile and you do it. Like, and it's like that's what I mean when it's good to be like very confident and just in yourself and like, because that moment you're just like,
I have to do it.
Can I do it? And you're just like, no, you have to do it. You're here. If this is what you want, you're gonna do it. And you're just like, okay, this is what I want, so I'm gonna do it. So it was just like a cool experience to like see that and be like, okay, this is like the crash course of like, this is what you have to do.
Yeah, this is what it's like. And was it faster paced than you were expecting?
Oh,
yeah.
Man.
Sounds like it.
Man. If people would have known, man, it was incredible. Like it pushed me past every limit I thought I had. Like, because for me, I've never been like, it's just funny to me to begin with, because in the industry, like, you know, you have to read and write a lot. The 2 things I was terrible at as a kid is reading and writing. Like let's
be an actor.
Yeah, let's do this. Let's be a math guy and just act and do everything that you dislike. Yep. So it's just been good to like transition and actually get to the point where like my biggest weaknesses and insecurities are like now becoming my biggest strengths, which is kind of cool to see.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it's just a lot of stuff, man. And I know for you as well, it's probably been like a journey and just craziness.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that feeling of it's been a journey and it's gonna be a journey, I don't think they'll ever go away.
No.
That's I'm just thinking about right now is even if you get something like that, okay, you just got fed probably a bunch of motivation, and you know, another thing I was gonna mention is like doing something like that. It's just so fun. Even if it's just a few days, but now you're at like 13, 15 days and you're just like, yeah, I would love to do this. Right. It was forever.
It was incredible. Like, that's what I told you. Like, it was the moment I like was like, this is 100% what I want to do with my life. Yeah. Like, cause it's indescribable. Like when people like say like, oh, your flow state, you're this, it's just like being on set. Like I would rather be on set every day than like do a lot of things, minus like obviously like travel to like Machu Picchu or something, but like you know, but like at the
Let's
same
be on set at Machu Picchu.
Exactly.
Traveling to Machu Picchu, that is the film.
And that's the set. So like it's
let's
like,
make it happen. What is it, Vet TV?
Yeah, could we do
Vet
that?
TV.
Can we do another?
There's got to be a military story.
Yeah, 100%, because y'all travel all the time. What's up?
Yeah.
No, but it was it's just cool. And then I have a few other projects going, so it's kind of cool. Like I was writing
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Like you're creating your own sketches?
I actually just wrote, me and one of my co-writers. He's incredible. My boy Tyreek, he's amazing. He helped me basically create this TV series, and I'm excited for it. And we're just gonna see where it goes, and we're gonna figure it out from there. And like, we actually put it in some writing competitions, and we actually have a couple producers that are looking at it. So we'll see.
What's that process like? Because that's something I haven't dived into and would also be interested in. But yeah, I'd love to hear what the process is. How do you get submitted to these things, and how do you get the interest of a producer like that?
Connections, man.
Yeah.
Like, it's like networking and connections. Like, it was a friend of a friend type thing, and they were just like, send it over, this and this and that. So it's really like how when people tell you networking is important, like, it's huge, because it's just like, there can be that one friend that you met at that one event that you had a shot with, that has connections with a bigger producer or something. And it's really weird. Like, it really works like that.
It's really like that. Yeah, that's what's crazy.
And you're like, oh yeah, I had a drink with this guy one time, and he was awesome. I think he's very creative. I'm gonna send over your stuff. He has some stuff. You're like, huh? He's like, bro, you still have that? It's like, yeah. It's just like, okay, do that. Send it to him. Here's the info. And you're like, okay, cool. Like, that's awesome. So it's just like, I'm still waiting on all that stuff, but yeah, it's just like, I would tell you, just get it going. Like, if you have an idea that you think makes sense, write it, get it into that format, make sure. And I'm gonna tell you this, if you're able to, I know it's more expensive, but like, if you can do like a sizzle reel or a trailer or something, because I've been told by some of them that they're just like, yeah, we like seeing like visuals. And so, like, the thing for us is to potentially get the something made, like a sizzle reel trailer, or even like the pilot made, because it's like an hour-long pilot. So it's just like, it's a lot of money. Because
like a TV show. Yeah,
because the average cost of a TV show for an hour-long like TV drama or something is like $5 million to make one. And you're just like,
even know.
Yeah, I randomly looked it up because I just was looking up a lot of stuff, and they said on average it's around like $5 million to make.
Even for a pilot?
For just like a 1 hour episode, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was just like, in bigger ones. Obviously people have made it for less and it's been successful, but like on average for bigger like stuff. But yeah, I was like, oh yeah, I don't have that. And so
you don't got 5 million sitting around?
Oh no. I
just got 4. Okay,
yeah, you got to work on that.
What are you doing? You're being real lazy.
Yeah, he's like, you can make another meal. You can make another M. Come on, get your Drake game on. Let's get it going. But yeah, it's
go back to partying. You get paid for it.
My liver will love me, right? But yeah, it's just been cool, like, and just seeing that, and like just growing in that process is cool, because it's just like, for me, I feel like it helped me so much more as an actor. Like writing, because like I got a whole, because you know how they always tell you like you sit within the character and like be able to understand the character, but like once you start writing something and you truly develop them, like, dude, I've like, me and my co-writer, we've cried multiple times writing, like to the point where like, give me a second, all right, give me a second. Okay, we're back. And I was
deciding what's gonna happen.
No, but it's just like, we talk about something that touches home so much that you're just like, oh wow, that hit a lot harder than I thought it would, and that's like, that hit a soft spot that I was like, and you're like tearing up, and you're like, wow, like this is real, and like being able to get to that point within a character is kind of crazy, and that's why I say it's like helped me so immensely. Because I've developed an understanding of each character now, and like understanding how each character is and how they work within the grand scheme of like the actual world that we're building. And just like being able to put your mind and put your thoughts of what they're thinking. Because like I can write a scene, because we've developed a character so much that you can write a scene and you don't even have to, it's like subconscious. Like you already know how they think. So like, you're like, what would I do? What would he do in this situation? And you're in their minds. So you're just like, yep, they'll do this, 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 and this. So you don't even have to like, oh, well, maybe they would. It's like, nah, like
Yeah,
in this scenario, they'll do this.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, it helped me to break down those intricate parts within like the cognitive thought of the actual character, to really understand who the hell they are and be like, that's how they break down characters. So that's what you're supposed to do. When they tell you, it's like, yeah, okay. So yeah.
And is that just started? You're writing?
Yeah, just as of COVID. Yeah.
So that's where obviously COVID sucks. There's been some blessings with COVID.
Yeah.
I'm sure you felt like you had time. So why don't I start writing something?
Yeah.
I would guess. Is it something like that?
Yeah, it's just like, because I needed to be creative. Because you probably know, you go crazy if you're creative and you can't create.
It's a big reason why I did this.
Yeah. And
like let me do something.
So you're just like, how do I alleviate this urge to create? Yeah. And you're just like, by creating something. Yeah. So at first it started off with like TikTok and other skits, short things. And then I was like, you know what? I kept having this idea and I was like, write it. And I was and it came to me like 3 different times. I was like, nah. Yeah. Nah. Third time I like got done training somebody and I was like coming from a park and I was just like, and my mom was like, write it down. And I was like, what? Write it down. I literally stopped off the side of like a road for like 30 minutes and wrote like the whole outline of like what I thought the season would look like. No idea where it was going to go. Just wrote it. And I was like, okay. And then next thing I know, 61 pages and like 5 revisions later, we have a pilot.
Isn't it crazy?
Yeah.
When you actually care. You could write all day. I think you just hit the mic and you also did that. Darren.
Really?
Darren bit the mic. I remember him specifically going, "Oh, bit the mic. I'm hungry."
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's hilarious. Like when you actually care, yeah.
It's
a crazy idea.
It just comes out. You're like, oh yeah, that's great. Keep it going. And then you just think back to like I remember I had an 18-page or 15-page paper my freshman year of college. I was like, what?
How do you do this?
How am I gonna do that? How the hell would I ever do that? I don't care. I don't know what to say.
I don't care enough to say.
Yeah, I gotta find this stuff. But yeah, you could just write.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just funny.
Yeah, and like people think about it, like, because some people have like asked me stuff about like, how do you write like that? I was just like, dude, it's just like something you're interested in now. Like, and this is the first time I've ever been in that point. So it's just like, okay.
I think it's also like anything, practice. Like you get better at this the more you do it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's almost you feel more. I don't know if it's more comfortable or if it's like it's something you've never done before. Then just doing it, then it's just becomes something you're doing. So then the idea of you sitting down and trying to create a TV show is like, yeah, whatever, I'm just gonna do it. Yeah. Like it's not like, well, I've never done that before. I can't write a whole script right now. This wouldn't turn into anything. Like,
yeah, that's why I went to someone.
Yep.
Who I like just had a feeling, and I was like, this person needs to be my co-writer. After we had our talks and we had done some other stuff together, writing wise, and I was like, he needs to be my co-writer for this, and he was about it.
You knew right away.
And he was about that, and I was just like, I need this perspective, I need these ideals, I need his ability because he's incredible. And I was just like, I keep telling him, he's like, bro, I was like, no, if it was not for you, this would not be a thing, because like I knew where my weaknesses were, because I'm more of an ideas guy, and I'm not the Shakespearean lore type human where I'm like, oh, with this niece, with this way, it's a breath, even though it's Chaucer.
Yeah, we come from the same place.
Yeah, and so like it's just like cool, but like how does this work?
Yeah,
like how does this not sound like a 5-year-old writing a creative story and actually be like, oh, this is something someone would want to read and be like, I can visually see all of this. So he was like an integral part to everything. Like when it came to that, like if it wasn't for him, that wouldn't even be a thing.
Had he written a lot of things before?
Yeah, like he went to school and like he got into writing and like all this stuff, and he went to acting. He did acting and all that, and like schools and conservatories and stuff, and he was just like, yeah, man, and then realized like he liked the writing aspect of it, so he just wrote, and it was just like, bet. And I was like, I'm gonna need that skill set and your thoughts to help me with these thoughts, to put them into a cohesive piece of thoughts that makes sense.
Help me think. Let me think about my thoughts.
Exactly. Help me organize and think about my thoughts.
Yep. I'm sure meditation helped with that.
Yeah, that was a big part of that. That was a big part of that.
Yeah.
And that was
Going back to that, what do you actually do to meditate? Do you just sit down and block everything out, think? Do you put on music?
It could be a number. I have music that I like listen to, like the meditation like type music, but like it's just really taking a moment for yourself. For me, that's what I really think, like taking, because everybody's like, oh, I'm too busy for this. It's like, bro, you can take, I was that person. I was like, I'm too busy for that. And I was just like, you can take 10 minutes out of your day. And at night, in the morning, say like when you first wake up, like you're probably going to be laying in bed for 30 minutes anyways on your phone or something. You can take 10 of those minutes for yourself to like clear your mind or whatever you need to focus on for the day, like organize those thoughts to get ready for your day. And like people think meditation is supposed to be this spiritual awakening that happens immediately, and like it's like, nah, man, it's a process, and you work on it every day like anything else you do. And I was like, I'm doing it for like a year and a half, and it's just recently been like, oh, I kind of start seeing the effects of it. So it's just a process with that, for sure. Like you just learn and grow within yourself. It's just taking time for yourself, really. So
you don't do the same thing every time. It's a little bit different every time.
I just sit within myself and just like be mindful of my thoughts and like what I need to organize in my head, and just like I'm not a meditating expert or anything. I just literally
I think anyone who does it and is having any sort of success with it, I mean, they're an expert in what they're doing.
Within yourself. Yeah. It's just like, for me, it's just taking the time for myself, because like I feel like sometimes we get away from ourselves mentally, physically, spiritually, the whole shebang. That it's just like refocusing you back to you and staying within yourself and staying within your means to like understand who you are, and just like, because it gets to be a lot. A lot, especially
if I don't know, you'll have a week, all of a sudden, boom, 2, 3, 4 auditions pile up, and then you got regular life, whatever you're doing for work at the time, people trying to talk to you. For me, it's always texting, like family. Oh, man. Like, not that that's a bad thing. I want to respond. I feel like I should respond, but then you're just busy, and then like trying to coordinate texting. I don't know. That just always comes in my head as like something that I constantly kind of miss. And it's always on my mind as something I should be doing, and I never get to it. I don't know.
And that's why I like make phone calls, and I like try and tell people, I'm like, look, like my family knows by now. They're just like, look, if you don't hear from me, just know I'm good. I just got busy. And they're like, and like at first they were just like, well, what's up? Like, are you good? Are you fine? What's happening? You can't really say what's up. What's good? I'm just like,
I can say what's up, but then I can't really have a conversation.
Like that's why I'm bigger proponent for like phone calls. So like you can get a lot more said in 10 minutes instead of like hours of texting, and 2 hours of texting can be accomplished in 5 minutes of a phone call. So like that's why I've been kind of trying to be more efficient with my time. And so like it's just what works for you. Because I know some people love texting. I'm like, I hate texting.
No.
I hate texting. And like people are just like, oh, and I'm like, stop having these in-depth life conversations through text, please.
Yeah. If you send me one of those, that's automatic. Okay, push to the side. I'm not doing that right now. I'll get to it, but I don't know when. Like
I'll like read it and you do the little half. I'm like, nope. You're gonna need at least 5 minutes of my time to think about it.
And then you got to think of your response. That's the thing, is like you think about the response instead of just speaking. Which maybe is good in some scenarios, but you're like, okay, what would I say? Would that make sense? Instead of right now, like I'm not thinking about what I'm going to say next or on a phone call. It
Yeah,
just happens.
Because the thing is with text messages, we get so caught up because we know that like a lot of our intentions and everything and like how we say it can be misconstrued in certain ways. They're just like, oh, well, they might think it's said like this. They might think I'm saying this. So I have to word it in a way that they're going to make sense because I'm trying to give it off this way. And just like, oh my gosh, like it's.
I feel relief you just explaining it like that because that is exactly what it is.
Yeah, because
you're trying to communicate clearly in a way that it's almost impossible often to communicate clearly.
You're trying to be concise with your words, but through texting, you can't be concise because like people misconstrue how the intention or influx of like how you're actually presenting a statement, and you're just like, no, I didn't. Like even the other day, like my friend texted me, and I was just like, no, it was a joke. It was a joke. Well, I'm over it. I was like, it was a joke. It was just a small little funny joke. It wasn't meant to be over. It was like a ha. Cool. Shut up, like type thing. And then she took it. I was like, no. I was like, no,
I got a text. I'm sorry, I meant it like this. Yada yada.
I'm over it. Well, I was just trying to explain that this was the reason why. I'm just over it. At that point, you're like, I don't even care.
I am too. I'm over it too.
It's like I don't even care anymore. Like this conversation is irrelevant to me now.
It's not even at all what you meant it to be.
No, it's like you expected it to just be like free flowing, like how we're talking about, haha, chuckle, continue conversation, and it's just like we both understand the context and what was happening.
So or if she would have just said haha or lol, it could have been like, oh shit, did they get it?
Yeah, and just
are they mad? Is that like a passive aggressive lol? Like you don't know, like because then you like yeah, did you get that question mark?
Dot.
Yeah, I got it. Period. Wait, are you mad?
Did you just do a winky face? Are you what? Are you seducing me? Like, why is this happening? Is that but that's the crying emoji.
That's why when I do text, I'm emoji heavy. Dude, for those exact reasons of like, I guess, I don't know. I feel like it helps me better convey what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. No, I feel like that's why emoji, like emoticons is like a big thing. Because it's just like, oh, crying, laughing face. And even on your AirPods, it's like, oh, such and such said, ha, that's fire. And then sent fire emojis.
The Siri text thing is funny.
Yeah, you just like hear it. I love how they just always say the actual emojis. It's just like, they said, that's crazy. And sent 3 crying, laughing emojis. It's like, bad.
Thanks,
so
Siri.
At least they got it. Thanks, Siri.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Take me back to, because we met, like we were mentioning earlier.
Preparing to come out here,
and because I was supposed to be on the trip with you, that fell through for me. So I went on the next one. Yeah. I believe it was the next one. But I think it was just that day. It might have only been that one day that I even met you actually in person.
Like one or
maybe
two,
twice.
Maybe we went. Did you do the Bill Cooper like
yeah?
workshop?
So maybe it was twice.
I think it was twice. Yeah, because I think I remember you in that one. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I think that was twice then. So then that's just those 2 things. But so take me back when you started acting, and I guess what made you get into it and why.
Let's make this long story very short.
We got time. What time is it?
No.
All right, we got about 20 minutes.
Okay, yeah, let's make it.
Damn, looks like I'm wearing shorts up in here. Holy
hey,
shit.
man, they gotta show off the thighs.
Yeah, let's go. Been working on these bad boys.
There it is. But so for me, when it came to that, I actually came from sports and football. Yep. So like,
perfect.
For me, it was. I thought I was going to go to the league. I had the opportunity to potentially go to the league. Injuries happened. And that's why I ended up coming back to Minnesota for 3 years. Completely lost on life. Had no idea what I was going to do because I thought football was my out in like my beginning of my life. Like,
what was those steps where you thought you were about to get into the league?
Well, I did pro day.
Yep.
I still have it in my handy dandy thing.
Yeah.
I got looked at by the Packers and the Raiders.
Nice.
And then I was potentially supposed to go to the training camps and all that. Found out about an injury that I had sustained from college, and had to get that fixed.
Yeah.
Then
surgery.
Yeah, I had a half knee replacement at 23.
That's crazy.
And then after that, I was like, all right. So then the CFL wanted me. So I was like, okay, I'll go to the CFL. I had like 2 or 3 teams that wanted me.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, once you're healed, let us know, blah, blah, blah. I said, cool. Then the day I got cleared from my knee, I went out and was just like, I'm just going to do like one route, see if I still have it. Nothing crazy. I just want to do a couple drills. Ran one great go route. That's it. That's all I want to run, a go route.
Just straight.
Literally ran, boom, 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 caught the ball over the defender, kept my foot in bounds, and my left shin snapped in half.
No.
And I was like, all right.
Damn, you had a compound fracture?
Well, luckily it wasn't, because it saved it because I had a broken shin. Like, I had a stress fracture and so many micro fractures that like it hinged, so it didn't like actually go through. So it just hinged and snapped in half. Okay. And like held itself together because like it spliced, and like, so like all of the micro fractures, it was like wow. But it was inside of it. Yeah. So now I'm 1/4 Wolverine, which is great. So I recovered from that. So like, that's why I was in Minnesota for 3 years trying to figure out life. That's when I started personal training. Mm-hmm. I was a substitute teacher for special ed. Mm-hmm. I did a lot of other random stuff. Worked at Nike, like just whatever. And then it's that whole weird thing. Like, somebody came up to me like, "Oh, have you ever thought about modeling?" And I was like, "I hate pictures." And they're like, "Well, you should think about it." I was like, "I still hate pictures. So I don't know why you're telling me this."
Did you hear what I said? I don't think you did.
I don't think you heard me first time. And then they were just like, "Yeah, okay, cool." And then I started looking into agencies because my mom was like, "Hey, you should maybe look into it." I was like, "Ugh, okay, whatever." Looked into some agencies. Started on the track, and good old Minnesota agencies. You have all and none at the same time. Gotta love it. Like,
that's a great way to put it.
It's really how it is. So started up, took some classes out there and stuff, mainly modeling and whatnot. And I was like, oh, fitness modeling. Got rolling with that. Started booking a decent amount, and I was like, oh wow, like this can actually be a thing. Like, okay, like started doing really cool brands, and I was like, oh. And then next thing I know, like, met Craig and everybody at Privilege, and like it was a blessing in disguise. And that's when we went on the trip, when he brought us out here to LA, and I was like, okay, because I had already gone to New York and like the year before that, and like I got hit up about a few conservatories up there for theater. Okay. But that was so expensive. Oh my God, that was so expensive. Yeah. So I was like, maybe I can think of another option. And then so then I came out to LA, and then it just worked. Yeah. And like I had a lot of agencies, like a few agencies that I even didn't even know wanted me. Cause like after we did all that and showcase and stuff, I had like 4 or 5, but then there was actually like 4 or 5 other ones that wanted me, and I was like, oh. So it was kind of
You didn't know? They didn't tell you?
No, like they were outside of it, like they weren't even there. And like, because Craig was working underneath the thing and working around, and he was just like, oh yeah, you already have it with this and this. I was like, okay, all right, dope. And that man works in mysterious ways. So I was like, okay, cool. So got that, and then been working ever since, man. Like, been out here, hit the ground running. Yeah. Party too much, work too hard, worked hard enough, worked not hard enough. It's just the whole shebang. Yeah, all the above. So just like, and now just on this journey, man. Like, it's just, when I tell people straight up, I was like, entertainment, like, and acting and modeling literally saved my life. Like, because at one point I literally had no purpose. Like, I was just like, all right, what do I do? Because I have a degree that I didn't care about. Because they're like, in economics and math. Okay. And I'm like, what? Okay, I can manage these $1 million plus $100 million accounts for these big firms. Like, that's cool, but like, I don't care about any of that.
That's exactly how it was.
Yeah. And it's just like, I really don't care. Like, people
I can try to convince myself I care, but I know I don't care.
Yeah, I'm like,
and that sounds shitty.
Yeah, and the only thing I'm gonna care about at a certain point is like get caught up in the money, because it was great money. But I was like, I don't care that much about that. Like, yeah, I can make money doing anything.
Yeah.
So
especially out here.
Yeah.
Bro, especially out here.
Yeah. So it's just like cool. There was a few jobs I contemplated, but I was like, we don't need that. Like, we don't. I was gonna do. There was this really dope private equity firm in the Bay. They had an amazing portfolio, and I was like,
there's those ones, they come by and you think about it.
I was like, maybe like that's actually really cool. I like that. And then there was a firm, there was a real estate firm down in Austin, Texas, and I was gonna be one of the 10th people on their team.
Wow.
And they were like really excited to have me. They offered me. They're like, no, man, you're gonna be amazing. This and this and that. And I was like, oh, I get to travel. This and this and that. Great money. And I was just like, is it yet? Am I doing this yet?
Yeah.
I don't know. So I kind of got away from that and just like figured it out and figured out that this is it. And it's been doing it ever since, man. Yeah,
those couple jobs you'll see them every once in a while. They are enticing.
Oh, so enticing.
They are enticing. Because even if it's like you kind of might like it a little bit, like that wouldn't sound that bad.
Yeah.
And the money can be really great for real estate and finance and economic things. So you're like, could I do that? But then I always just think like the day-to-day versus what I'm trying to do for a day-to-day. And it's like, God, I would much rather do this other stuff that I'm trying to do on like a day-to-day level. And at least I would imagine. Obviously, I'm not doing those things, so I don't know for sure. But you know what I'm talking about.
No, I know exactly. Because that's the thing. Like, you're like, oh, I wouldn't want to do that. Like, and I feel like that's the difference between like us and people who live like regular lives. Just like you'll be like, oh, okay, because you'll look at them and be like, I almost want to try to envy them, but I don't. Yeah. Because like you're okay with just a simple, secure life, which could be great. You know what I'm saying? I'll never downplay that. But like for me or you, like we don't see that the same way. And we're like that mundane, like day in, day out security 9 to 5, which is incredible for the people who can do it. But for us, like it just, they seem like the crazy people. And we seem like the crazy people to them because they're like, how can you not have security? How can you not have a secure job that's going to automatically give you the salary? It's like, no, bro. Like, I would rather be comfortably uncomfortable doing something I love.
That's a great way to put it, because I do feel kind of exactly what you said. I'm uncomfortable when I'm too comfortable. And I am comfortable when I feel that I'm pursuing something that's making me uncomfortable. Like, maybe that's fucked up and backwards.
No, that's why we look like the crazy people to them and they look like the crazy people to us. Because like we're like, oh, I'm so uncomfortable, and it's just so much like, comfortability.
It's almost boring. I don't know if it's boredom or it's just lack of it. I don't know if it's a lack of excitement or creativity or just, I don't know. Just something about that is like, even if the money was great, okay, how long could I convince myself because the money's good that I like it?
Enough to keep doing it.
Enough to keep doing it and not just hate every day. Deep down, like how long is that going to be? Maybe, and then that always gets to the point where it's like I don't think I could do that very long.
It's like maybe 2 years.
That maybe even just a couple months. And it's like I really wish I was doing this other stuff. And then it's like, well then what do you do? Just quit? Yes, you could, but then why'd you take the job? I don't know. That's how it ever always comes to me if I ever even. Cause I check on Indeed every once in a while. It's a little bit of self-torture. When you're having your low days, you're just like, what else could I be doing?
It's like, man, this has been a slow week.
Yeah, right. Could be doing. You picture your life.
I only had one audition this week. Let's see.
What else?
Oh, what's that? 80K?
Yeah. Right. Starting.
80K. Really? What can I do at 80K right now? Quite a bit.
Do all these things, but then literally I do that, and then I just exactly what I just said. Think about, okay, well, how long would it take for me to realize that I don't even like this? And the money doesn't matter, and it's always not that long.
So it's like I got about 4 to, and it gets shorter and shorter every time.
Exactly. You're like,
the more you fall in love with the industry, the more you can't do that. Like,
I'll literally look shit up and I'll see maybe a job I might like, pays well, and then I'll sometimes even just mad, like, why the fuck am I looking at this? Close the tab.
Like, let's go back on LA casting. Like, what are we doing?
I know I'm wasting my time. I know I'm looking at this and gonna think about it and picture it, and then I cancel it and never remember it again.
For real, that's really the real ish. Like, you're just like, maybe my life. No,
Yep. Especially with COVID, because everything was closed. You had no choice but to like.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe think about other things.
Man, how many people sent me job offers? Like I got so many people like, oh, come do investment banking. Come do this. Come.
That was
portfolio.
A thing.
Like,
investment banking was a thing for me. What
was your degree?
Finance.
Oh, there it is.
So I was thinking about that. So I said we got a lot of similarities. Oh God. I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, that was an interview I had before when I was already planning on coming out here. I'd been trying for years to come out here. Left school at one point, was gonna come out, didn't. Was gonna do the trip you were on, didn't, and then was doing the next one. But there was also an interview in there that I was like, if I get this job, I might not go. I didn't get it, which I'm glad I didn't. Yeah. But so that's just, I don't know. I'll still check every once in a while, like, yeah, what are those options? But yeah, then I keep repeating myself now. It's like you just picture and it's like, God, no, nope.
Well, the market's looking like right now.
Yeah,
not good enough for me to be in it.
Yeah. And I like investing with personal investments, like just managing my own portfolio. Like I have a lot of fun with that, and I don't know, that kind of feeds that.
And you never know, what can happen. Because I know for me, like I just started helping my friend with this festival film, and like he wants me as a line producer, but he initially brought me on for like managing the books and like the funds and stuff, and I was like, oh, kind of up my alley. Yep. And he literally hit me up because he's like, no, I know you have a degree in economics and math and this. He's like, can you help me with the finances? And I was like, okay. And I was like, oh, look at me using my degree in some shape or form in entertainment. Yeah.
So you could go that route too. Yeah. It could happen.
So that's why I'm just like, man, you know.
Well versed yourself. Yeah. That's the thing I was gonna say about writing too, is just diversifying your own skills. As an actor, well, now you can be an actor and you could write. Like then you're just more valuable to, say, a potential team, to produce something. Yeah. Be an actor and a writer. And do economics.
That's huge, because like one of my biggest role models is Donald Glover.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, dude.
Like really, like he from his older stuff like Mystery Team, and like when he did his weirdo stand up and like his first EPs, like this man, like I've always loved his vibe and like how he does things, because he's one of those people that just doesn't care, and he's just doing his thing, and like he's doing it to the best of his abilities, and that's really all we can do, and he does a damn good job, and he's like one of the modern day Renaissance men.
Yeah, he does. It seems like everything,
like literally everything. And I was like, as much as I can get that I can do it at an efficient rate, like and do well, I'm gonna do it. Yeah, because I love it.
I think about him as well. That's a great fucking example, just because when people will say, well, you gotta do acting, you gotta like focus on that if you're gonna do that, and you can't
do anything else.
Like I'll write for music. I say this all the time and I still haven't made any of it, but I have a bunch of things written down. But it's like, yeah, people say, oh, if you're gonna do acting, you have to focus on acting, stop doing this other stuff. And it's like, I get that. I think that's a way, but I don't think that's me.
The only way. Yeah. And you can focus, and I've learned, like, because initially I was like that. I was like, oh, I can't focus on too much. I'm like two things and I'm done. And then like as you get more used to it and you get more into it, like you're like, oh, I can add this to it. And it's just like, and it's not taking really anything away from what you're already doing, but it's just adding and being efficient with your time and effectively like being and doing what you're doing. Because like you can learn guitar while you're freaking studying, like, you know what I'm saying, while you also have like lines you're working on. Like you can, like, you're not going to be studying lines for 12 hours a day. You're going to be studying lines for like 2-3 hours, and you're going to take a break, and you can be like, okay, for another hour I can work on the guitar, and then I can go back to my lines. So you're like, you have time, and people just have to be able to utilize their time well. So,
and things can just run together. I mean, those music and acting I think go together very well.
100%.
Just because you're being creative, so it's just kind of, I think, working those creative muscles, if you want to say. People say that. People say those things, creative muscles. Oh, this thing turned off. I didn't even notice. People say that, creative muscles. But even like training or just fitness, like we were talking about before, I think the schedule can get in the way. Yeah. So I'm still figuring that out for myself to see if I can make that work. And because this is another thing going back to, I guess, money is like you can't get paid crazy well training out here. It's actually insanely surprising.
Yeah, you can.
Like, it's crazy. And so that's, you see that. But I always thought that, because before, again, I committed completely and actually came out here, I was big into fitness, trying to make fitness content on Instagram, and was thinking at times about maybe trying to do like bodybuilding, because I had some friends doing that. And I just felt like I had to do one or the other. I just never felt they could go together, but I think they can. At this point, I kind of just realized a few months ago, like, why did I think that for so long? They definitely can, because if you're in shape, you stay in shape by training other people and doing classes, like, then you're staying in shape to have that certain look for roles. And as long as your schedule can work out where you can still go to class and do those things, like, that's not taken away from it. And especially doing group classes like I've been doing, it's literally the beginning of class starts with me doing a performance. Yeah. Me showing the workout, doing a demo, explaining it. It's a performance in front of 10 to 20 people. Yeah. And that was a big reason of why I thought to do it, because I thought I would still get nervous. I'm sure I still will, and still do, because I do for the demo every once in a while. But just public speaking. Yeah. It was like, I think this would be good for me because the public speaking factor of working these group classes, because I have to present every day, multiple times a day. 100%. To, they're strangers at first, eventually you get to know them. But I don't know, that was a change in mindset for me that I'm glad I had. Yeah. Because there's so many things like that can go together, and they'll just feed into each other. And another thing with acting is, like, you could be a role that could be anything. So what if you are a banker in a TV show, or an economist, or whatever? So I know we just shit on having those jobs, but if you were to have those jobs, maybe short term or something, or if you had a little experience with those, then that could easily feed into a role like that. You'd know what it's like to be a real life, whatever those people are. Yeah, it does help, because I know for me, I wanted to, like, initially out of high school, I wanted to be a Marine and be in Special Forces. Shortest conversation I ever had with my mom. Thanks, Mom. Because she was said no. She was an ex-Marine, and she was like, choose a different career path, because our family's already done enough with that. Yeah. And I was like, she was like, I was like, okay, cool. Cool. And like, look at, like, I've done 2 movies as, like, in the military, and then I had my first TV show as a Marine recruiter. So it's like, oh, look at that. Look at that. You never know what will come about. Yeah. Like, so it's just funny to me seeing that, for sure, and like seeing how these life experiences really help in, like, the actual industry. Yeah. Sure. I think that's what's growing up, because you didn't grow up acting either, right? No, I grew up around a lot of sports, but I grew up around a lot of music too. Did you, like, play instruments? No, I played alto sax. I did trumpet. I tried trumpet. I got angry because I wasn't as good as my brother in 2 months, and he played for 2.5 years. And then I played drums. Impossible. Yeah. In my mind, it wasn't. Yeah. I was like, I have to be better than you at all times. Older or younger? Older. Year and a half. So I was like, I have to be better than you. So, and then I have a lot of family members who did music and sang and did all that. So, like, I grew up in the church and all that. So, like, I grew up around a lot of music. So it's just like, I saw that, but I was like, okay. I have an appreciation for music. I love it more than the average person. And I appreciate it more than the average person, minus the people who are actually doing it. So it's just like, yeah. I'm forgetting why I even asked. I asked if you grew up acting. Yeah, because you were like acting, and I was just like, oh yeah, because it's like music and stuff. So I didn't grow up with acting. No. Yeah, I'm trying to remember. My mind is slipping. It's sleeping. What were you saying right before that? You were saying that because with acting. I don't know. I was like, I'm trying to stay present. So about the Marines. Yeah, we're talking about the Marines and like how it's like works out with like life experiences. Yeah, I think I was gonna say it's just that how it was. I mean, for someone who grew up acting and does this is probably like obvious. Yeah. But just how much it pertains to real life and how much real life pertains to acting is they're almost. I don't know. It's almost synonymous. It's almost the same thing. It sounds crazy to say, but like. Yeah, it's like it's just real life experiences. Yeah, and you're trying to putting on the big screen. Yeah, and like you have to seem real. You have to make a conversation sound normal. Like that's our job. Yeah, that's our job. It's exactly. Like you have to make this conversation
sound like it's a normal conversation.
Yeah, and get better at it.
Yeah.
And
you're like,
know it so well, then forget it.
Make me cry.
Yeah. Now.
Okay.
Without hitting me.
I can cry. I don't know.
Yeah.
Does that count?
Yeah, I'll do it. Do you want me to cry? I'll just cry right now because I'm really embarrassed doing this in front of you. No. But yeah, just like, I don't know. I remember that surprising me so much. Once that really clicked for me too, it's just, dude, like everything. It's really, I think, helped. Even if I never did anything ever again, the classes I took and the experience I've had with it, I think just helped life perspective of like, you know, again, maybe this sounds crazy. I've kind of mentioned this to some other people before recently. To do anything is just like, look at it like a role. Yeah. If you're trying to do something you've never done before, just think, okay, look at it as like learning how to do a role. How do I be good at this thing, or be like at a workplace? How do I become a manager? Well, think of it as like an acting role. How do I learn what a manager does, what a good manager does, what I would want my manager to do, all those things. And then you're just acting as that role, and you become that thing. And it's either in your real life or for a show or for a movie. I don't know. Maybe that sounds crazy.
No, that's real. Because like for me, I'm getting back into martial arts and like mixed martial arts and stuff. And like I'm literally having to go back. Like I kind of injured my wrist a little bit a while back. And like I literally had to go back to the basics. Yeah. And I was just like, this sucks. Like, and at first I was like, this sucks. But then I was like, oh, this is incredible. Yeah. Because like I'm literally going back to the fundamentals and basics of like how to do, like how to turn my hips, the shift, how the movements, and like. What
are you doing?
Taekwondo.
So, I want to get into Muay Thai.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Because I did mixed martial arts. Like I did like Muay Thai. And
did you?
Like, yeah, I just did it as like a workout for like college initially. Like I always loved it, but then like in college, one of our coaches did it, so we would like train, and it was just fun. Yeah, it was super fun.
Yeah, dude, I grew up wrestling, so no striking, all grappling. So I wanted to get into something striking, and I was thinking, honestly, at first I was thinking Krav Maga for a film, because I knew like the Bourne series, all the fight scenes are choreographed based off Krav Maga. So I was like, that'd be fun, cool to learn, and again, applicable to acting. But then after that, well, things were shut down because of COVID. Yeah. So I never ended up going to one. Goddamn COVID. Still here. It's like that nagging friend that won't leave.
Just you need to get rid of them, but at the same time you're like, I can't somehow.
Go home, COVID. Don't you have things to do today?
You've overstayed your welcome. Yeah. Sorry.
Oh my god. But then whatever. Yeah. So I never ended up going to one, and then slowly just became. Well, why don't I just do, I don't even know, I guess, how I started looking into Muay Thai. I think because it was everything. It was punching and kicking, and I just thought that was cool, and elbows and everything. Like, it's not just punching like boxing. It's literally learning how to hit with everything. And then I've been looking up local fight leagues that these gyms go to. So it's like a real small, basically kind of UFC style. I mean, there's probably they'll have them on YouTube. There's probably about 100 to 200 people there.
Oh, dang.
I mean, picture just like a ring in a high school gym.
So Brad Pitt and them, like in Fight Club?
Yeah. Cool. Sort of.
First rule of Fight Club.
First rule of Fight Club, yeah. I'm out of the club.
Yeah.
I got kicked out.
He kind of messed that up.
Fuck. Sorry, Brad. I swear to God, I won't do it again, Brad. But anyways, unfortunately, I do have to go. Yeah. Thank you so much for coming on.
Appreciate you having me.
Thank you for sharing and telling us everything that you did, dude. I really appreciate it. It's been way too long since I've done one of these. Things just got busy, and I really hope and plan to be doing these more. And what better way than to start off right here?
I'm glad I could help you back into that flow.
Appreciate it, dude. Let's go. All right. Have a good day, everybody. Peace.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.